Shelby Bells, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. In today's video, you guys, I want to talk about Def Noodles roast battles that he's been hosting. He hosted the first one like last week or something. I have a lot of thoughts on it, on how that went, and he's announced that the tickets are going on sale for the second roast battle. And quite honestly, after the first one, I wasn't sure there was going to be a second, and I'll get into all that in a second. When he announced the fact that there was a second roast battle, it made me realize that like I had never gone on video and talked to you guys formally about my thoughts on this. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you might have heard me in a Twitter space talking about the whole situation. I talked about it there. I realized I have not made a video kind of like discussing the whole roast battle, and I think that I should do that. I think it's about time. I have so many thoughts on it that I haven't shared with you guys, so I'm gonna do that. And it's leading into the next roast, so if you guys are interested in hearing more about that drama, make sure that you keep on watching. Okay guys, so before we get into today's video, if you are new here, my name is Shelby. I'm the crazy cat lady of the drama community here on YouTube. I bring you the tea 7 days a week with the help of my investigative research team, Mr. and Miss Kitty. This is Mr. Kitty. He's my beautiful Maine Coon baby. He's really the face of the operation of things here. He loves to be on camera. He loves to be held. We got him this beautiful cat tower here to put in the set, and he loves to sit on it. I've been attracting him to this little area with treats, and it's kind of working, so I love it. I'm not going to mess with him too much because I want him to get comfortable and enjoy being here, but this is Mr. Kitty. He's the face of the operation. We also have Miss Kitty, who is the brains of the operation. Now, a lot of times in my videos, she will be very vocal. You'll be able to hear her in a lot of the videos, meowing away. We'll have conversations back and forth. I think right now she might be napping or something, but you never know when Miss Kitty's going to make an appearance. Miss Kitty always finds all the receipts for you guys, so any receipt that you happen to see is always approved by Mr. and Miss Kitty. Now, Mr. Kitty also does find some receipts, but sometimes when Mr. Kitty finds the receipts, they might not be as accurate. Mr. Kitty has been known, Mr. Kitty, I'm telling him the truth. You can't get mad when we tell him the truth, okay? Mr. Kitty has been known to get a receipt wrong every now and then, but it's not his fault. He just gets so excited about the tea, and so he just kind of like presents you with the half-truth, or maybe things are taken out of context or whatever. And so whenever you get something super clickbaity, or maybe, you know, something that isn't quite completely accurate or something, that's Mr. Kitty, and he's working on it, you guys. But I mean, he's a looker, you know, the brains aren't really as much there with him. He just gets too excited. Miss Kitty is much more thorough and thought out with her research, but Mr. Kitty, he just is like impulsive and just like, oh my god, mama, here's the tea, go. And so whenever we get anything like that, then you know Mr. Kitty's behind it. But we love this so much. He's so cute, and I think he loves the new cat tower, which is so cute. And he already broke the toy off of this thing, so because he's like super strong, so I'm gonna have to find something else to attach to there. But anyway, if you like that kind of a thing, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below. Don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of all my future videos when they do post. Remember, all Shelby Bells ring the bell. Okay, let's get into this drama. So last week, Def Noodles had his first roast battle. Now, if you guys have been following Def Noodles on Twitter, and then you know, or you've been watching YouTube drama channels lately, then you know that he's been advertising this roast battle. And it was basically, I guess he's been working on it for a while, but it was basically a pull up or shut up. If you have something to say, come say it to my face, and we'll roast each other. We'll clown each other back and forth. You want to say it to my face, let's go. And so when I thought about that, when it first came out, I was like, oh, so is he inviting like drama channels, haters to come up there and just kind of like have a discussion with him about something? And then it quickly changed to him clarifying that it was a comedy roast back and forth. So I was like, oh, so it's not for me, because I don't claim to be a comedian. I think I have once or twice when I was trolling a dentist or something, but I'm not a comedian. I'm just a girl that sits in my studio with my cats talking about drama, okay? I don't claim to be a comedian, so it wouldn't be something that I would feel comfortable going up there talking shit back and forth. It's just not for me. But that's at first what I thought it was. Anyway, he clarified that it was comedians that could come up there and say what they had to say about him to his face, right? Then you see the lineup for the first roast battle. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm looking at the list and I'm like, I don't know who a single one of these people are. And I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. Like, I thought that, you know, if you're gonna have a roast battle, then you probably want people for your first one to gain traction and gain attention and make it something that actually succeeds and stuff. You'd probably want it to be someone who is like known, right? Someone who's pretty well known, people that people know, so they could bring their audiences to watch your roast, right? But it was people that honestly, I think that, and this isn't an indication of like how good of a comedian you are or whatever, but it is kind of an indication of relevancy on social media and like your ability to attract an audience. I think the most followers on Twitter that any of these people had, from what I saw, was like 1,100 or something. And it's like that, while that's great exposure for these people that are going on to the roast, because so many more people watch the roast, whether that was a good thing or a bad thing or whatever their opinions were, they actually were watching it. It's great exposure for these like maybe lesser known comedians out there. It's not exactly what I think that anyone had pictured or in mind for what these roast battles might be like. And so that brought the question to my head, like, okay, like, is no one really volunteering to go on this roast battle? Or maybe not no one, but no one of relevance. Is everyone just kind of like, Dennis, Def Noodles, like, bro, I don't know what you got going on over here, but it sounds like stupid and I'm not gonna do it. That's kind of what I thought, because he was originally saying like, you know, putting it out there, these like bigger commentary bro channels were gonna come out and do all that. But none of them were on the list. And so, I don't know. And then, okay, so let's fast forward. So that was my first critique, right? The people that he had on there. And it makes me kind of think that maybe he couldn't get more relevant people. But anyway, no shade to the people that were actually, you know, in the part of the battle. Like, that's not, they didn't do anything wrong or whatever. They just kind of participated in something. And honestly, if they were like smaller, like lesser known social media personalities, then that's a great opportunity to get their name out there. And I don't blame them or, you know, hate on them for doing so. It's good business for them. But then let's get into the day of the roast battle. So the roast battle, I think, was it on Sunday? So Saturday or Sunday, something like that. And people like had a lot to say. So I was watching it on his Twitch, and when I first saw it, I was like, what is this? Is this right? What am I watching? Because it looked honestly like a theater classroom at a high school, and I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be whatever. It really honestly looked that way. Like that, or some sort of like meeting that like a church would have or something, or was like set up, or like your little like person would like come on the stage. Like, it looked very, very low production value, very, very much that, okay? And so I was like, okay, this is like underwhelming at best. I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for it to start, and there's like some awful music playing in the background, so I decided to mute the music and still just kind of wait and watch and maybe do other stuff on my phone while I'm waiting for it to start or whatever. And it takes like 35 minutes or something after he said it's supposed to start for it to actually start. And then when it starts off with a complete fizzle. Like, it is just not, there's no energy in the crowd. He first comes out to start everything and nobody claps, nobody does anything, and there's just like no energy in the audience. From what you could see on camera, I think I saw maybe 5 or 6 people in the audience, and I'm sure I couldn't see the entire audience with the way the camera was. The placement of the camera was awful in general too. The lighting was not set up in favor of the camera at all. And my critique on that is that Dennis, Def Noodles, most of the people that are watching this are going to be watching from the internet. So you need to fix that camera situation and all of that. It looked like somebody was filming in the back, like, you know, back in like late 2000s when you'd have your little theater production, your parents would show up with a little camera and they'd be sitting in the back row filming, whatever. That's what it looked like, the quality of that, right? It was just not good. There was like this projector that was playing like something on the projector, and I couldn't even tell what the projector like had on it because the lighting was so bad. It was just really, really poorly executed. And I saw a Twitter post earlier in the day of what the whole space looked like. It was a bunch of boxes and stuff like that. It wasn't even close to being set up. And so when I saw everything kind of go in motion and how like things got off to a really rocky start, the lighting presets weren't right. Nobody knew what they were doing with that. You know, it was just really, it just screamed last minute, rushed, and not put together correctly. And this brings me to a theory that I have. So defnoodles said that he had been working on this whole situation, for the whole roast thing, the whole comedy thing that he's building it, for a while. And do I believe that he's had the idea for a while? I do believe that maybe he's had the idea to do this for a while. I believe, this is just my conspiracy theory, allegedly, my thing. Look at Mr. Kitty sleeping here. How cute is that? Oh my God, you guys, they like it over here. It's so cute. He's either sleeping peacefully or he's like, Mom, I'm so bored of talking about duff noodles by now. Can you please talk about something more interesting? I can't even keep my eyes open anymore with you talking about duff noodles so much. So my theory, to get back to that, my theory is that defnoodles had been planning some sort of comedy thing he wanted to do for a while. I think on the heels of the Ace family drama that he really capitalized on by going to Ace Fest, calling out Austin McBroom and Catherine McBroom in front of, you know, on camera and all that stuff. I think that right in the heels of that, he got a lot of attention. Then he started kind of getting some more negative attention, but it still was attention nonetheless, about calling Papa Gut the P word and all of that, and things just kind of started spiraling attention-wise for Dennis. Maybe not in such a good way. The thing is, with the Ace family drama, there was good attention on Dennis, and then everything just kind of took a very sharp spike downward when he started talking about Papa Gut. I think that Dennis saw all the attention that he was getting on social media, and he decided he wanted to capitalize on that attention by launching the roast thing early and putting it out early. And I think that he was like, okay, we just need to get this done. We need to start doing it. We need to do it. Whatever. I need to capitalize on this. I need to get the views. I need to get this, da, da, da. And I think that in turn, by doing that, he rushed the setup. He rushed the, you know, behind the scenes plans for how the show is going to go. I don't think they rehearsed, you know, all the lighting and all that stuff at the beginning, you know, before they actually did the show. I can't talk today. The thing, and I know that like when you do like a roast comedy thing, like it's not necessarily going to be like completely planned out. Like the comedians like might have their own sets or something to perform. They don't really know the people, and it's not like unheard of for people to do like improv comedy and like roast people back and forth like that. That's not unheard of. And that doesn't need to necessarily be rehearsed. But what does need to be rehearsed in any kind of production that you're putting on is your introduction to your audience, the lighting presets. How are you going to, you know, do this kind of like change in lighting and then cue this music here and then fade that music out into this lighting and all that. That needs to be rehearsed and set up ahead of time. Even if you just run through it a couple times, you've got to do it. And what it looked like from what I was watching is that none of that had been done. And then you get into the comedy, and if I'm going to be honest, you guys, most of my feedback from the comedy that happened during that roast is what I heard from other people, because I'll be honest with you, I decided I couldn't waste my entire life watching the whole thing. I really did. I had to work the next day, and I was like, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm not wasting my life on this anymore. I'm really not. And so I watched a little bit of it, and then I was like, you know what, I'll catch up with what other people have to say later. And what other people had to say later was that none of the comedians were funny to them. That the comedians, everything flopped, the jokes didn't land. And they said that the winner of the roast battle, the reason they won was just because they were louder than everybody else. One of the people that were in the battle actually ended up getting Dennis or defnoodles banned on Twitch for 7 days because they said the F word, the F slur for gay people on Twitch, and you can't do that. So they got Dennis banned on Twitch for 7 days, which isn't good. And you know, it's like, it seems just so unprofessional. And you should know that if you are going to be, you know, streaming your comedy roast onto these platforms, you should know the guidelines of what you can and can't say. So that was just unprofessional in my opinion on whoever ended up, you know, dropping the slur. And not that saying the slur is okay regardless, but also like if it's gonna get somebody banned on a platform, like definitely don't say it. And so it just seemed like really poorly put together. And then comes the aftermath of everything when everyone's talking about it on social media. I mean, and listen, I've been heavy on the Twitter lately, you guys. And while I was watching this stuff, I'm looking for good feedback. And the only good feedback that I read about this was, it's the first one, maybe it'll get better. That's the only positive feedback that I saw online. Most people were like, this is awful, this is so hard to watch, this is cringe, this isn't funny, what is he doing, this is like so bad, like what is this lighting, what is this setup, what is this stage? Like, it was all very much that. And it's just sad because it's like, this guy's making a fool of himself on the internet. If this is what you want to do, my guy, if you want to host these little, like, tiny little comedy roast battles or whatever, like, go off, but maybe it's not the best idea to share it with, like, and make it seem like it's gonna be this big, huge comedy production, like an improv or something, and then have it literally be like a literally not even as good quality as like a community theater production. It literally is like junior high school level production. People are saying, well, you know, he doesn't have the money for that. Bullshit. You don't need to have a whole lot of money to make something look like good production value. You really don't. You really don't need to have a whole lot of money, but you need to have some sort of effort put into it. And I think that what made it look so shitty is the lack of effort put into it. If this was him putting in a lot of effort to this, then yikes. I don't know what kind of experience. He says he has a lot of acting and stage experience and comedy experience over that. I don't know where that came from, because I think that, and I did theater all throughout high school and into college and stuff. And like, I have a little bit of knowledge about that kind of stuff. And even I could have put on a better production than him, because it takes attention to detail and just like, I don't know, caring about it. It looks like he didn't care, dude. I don't know. It's just so poorly put together. But anyway, you guys, did you watch the roast battle? Are you excited for the upcoming one? I'm personally not excited for the upcoming one, but I am going to watch it a little bit because I need to report it to you guys. Let me know what you thought of the roast battle, what your thoughts on all of it. Do you think that I made any points with this? Do you think that I made any points in regards to the production quality, or maybe why it seemed rushed or whatever? Or do you think that he really just did the best that he could? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about all this drama. I'd love to hear from you. And that's going to be it for today's video, you guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below. Don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of all my future videos when they do post. Remember, all Shelby bells ring the bell. And yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, YouTube should be suggesting a couple more down here for you to choose from, so I'd love it if you did that. And aside from that, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.